Welcome to the March 14th edition of Gridlife Digest Weekly, our culture and gaming podcast, and the number one. We really need to dominate a market because we've had nothing for a couple weeks. We're on the down slope. We need to fix that.
We're figuring it out.
We're figuring it out. Maybe this week we can get up on those charts. My name is Noah Friskop, and joining me is the San Francisco treat, Eli Shaw. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. I had a bunch of coffee. Not a bunch. I had a cup of coffee. So I'm wired. We didn't record last week just due to scheduling, so I am hyped for this episode. I feel like it's going to be worth the metaphorical dollar, as it were. And also joining me is the MILF man, Micah Binfett. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, guys. Feels like I'm going through a voice changer, but that's just the nicotine taking effect.
We get it, you vape.
Vape Nash, guys.
Vape Nash. Vape Nash. That makes me way too happy.
Sucking on.
Yeah, don't vape, guys. It's pretty cringe, but if you want to start don't want to stop, or you want to stop smoking, just try it.
You want to start smoking?
Yeah, if you want to start smoking, it's probably the better option. Honestly,
but it's also a gateway drug. If you let it, it's like, I could go for a better Nick buzz, and then you start pulling.
I want those fat clouds.
Yeah,
I want to rip the fattest clouds.
The fattest of clouds, and then make the O's. And they go to competitions and make just jellyfish.
Please, I'm tolerant to it up until the competition shit. I'm like, all right, now you've officially ascended to top tier douchebaggery. Like that is the metric of which I judge people. It's pretty easy, but
just don't do it.
Just don't do it. They all look the same.
You look like a fag before, but now you look more like a faggot. Sorry, no offense against gay people, but
oh my god,
it's pretty bad.
It's not great. It's not a good look.
And then don't create YouTube channels dedicated to vaping.
I mean, there's an audience there, so if you find success, more power to you.
I guess so. I mean,
more power to you.
I remember watching this dude on YouTube. He was like 15 and he had a whole channel
cringy as fuck.
Dedicated.
What's up, guys? It's Marijuana Good. We're about to vape.
Welcome to Thick Clouds 420 Vape Nation. I'm gonna try out my new mod this week. Yeah,
it's video vaping in middle school.
I'm so fucking cool.
It's a smoke stick, a V8 bought from Smoke City. Fuck off.
Shout out to my boy Mike hooking me up with this sweet get. I don't have a word for it. Anyway,
I have the juice here, the sour belts.
Yeah,
or whatever the fuck.
I'm gonna blow those O-rings
Yeah.
And then he totally fails. It's like,
no, he just starts like coughing
it's the juice.
His mom is in the background saying dinner's ready.
What the fuck is that? Get out of my house!
Get the fuck out of here!
Why does it smell like cotton candy in my house? What the fuck? Yeah.
Why is it so hazy in here?
Do you have those marijuana cigarettes?
See, those are a different story. I mean, they don't create much smoke, but like the odor from them, it's pretty strong.
It's
yeah. I mean, you thought good. Weed on its own smelled bad. Like this is like on another level. It's like it's just pure like THC, like that smell, like just pure like just chemicals, you know. Whereas before you get that like the earthy tones of the weed, but no earthy tones this time. It's just straight up like this is the shit that gets you high.
Put that on the packaging. This is the shit that gets you high.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I mean, because how liberal they are with their naming conventions, like sour diesel.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sharknado. I'm sure that's a type.
Sharknado. They're all like this.
Yeah.
So for the uninitiated, each of us chooses a topic for conversation, and we recommend a piece of media. It's been a while for the group and audience to check out. You can get the show on YouTube and the podcast service of your choice every Wednesday, and be sure to check out gridlifedigest.com to see all the content in one place. In addition to being available on demand on the platform of your choice, we sometimes also stream it live on twitch.tv/gridlifedigestplays if you like your podcast raw and unedited. Unfortunately, this isn't, but not like anybody watches them anyway. So while you're at it, follow us on our social media platforms at Gridlife Digest on Twitter and Instagram, as well as at Gridlife Digest Pod on Facebook, so you never miss what's happening. So now it is time for the weekly Gridlife Digest press conference sponsored by the Super Smash Bros. For Switch announcement. Holy fuck, get hyped.
Get hyped.
Get hyped. And speaking...
Suck down that Riptide Rush.
that
You can
Riptide
throw
Rush,
away your
lemon
Wii
lime.
U's.
So I just want to. So lemon lime is the best Gatorade. We understand that, right?
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Not.
It
That's straight up
absolutely
like
is. You're
piss.
fucking crazy.
If you put that right next to like a dehydrated man's piss, you can't tell the difference.
You're insane. It's amazing.
Not that I've done that, but like just looking at it.
Not that I've done it.
Has Rob like giving you the side by side comparison? He's like, this is what my piss looks like, and
No,
this is
but, like,
Gatorade lemon lime flavor.
Well, we were on a job like a couple weeks ago, and my dad made the comic, so we were working with these metal panels.
Yeah.
That we were setting up around the stupid shop. But anyways, on it, it looked like some sort of yellow liquid. My dad said, "Is that lemon like Gatorade or is that?"
Oh my god!
Like word for word.
Seriously? No way.
Word for word.
Oh
Yeah.
my god! I love it so much.
Yeah,
I love it
like,
so much.
No, it's not good. And then I feel like every Gatorade has that Gatorade like aftertaste.
Oh yeah, that little.
Yeah, like
it's good.
this has like electrolytes in it. They just forced it in there, and
I
like
mean, that's kind of the
even,
point.
even with Powerade, it tastes even worse. Like the Powerade aftertaste is not good.
It's not. It doesn't have quite as strong of a lingering, clammy aftertaste to it.
Gatorade isn't as bad, but Powerade, just because it's like you can buy that shit for like 69 cents.
Hey,
I swear, I always see it for like 69 cents. So it's like no one wants to buy this.
It's meant to be. It's meant to be. So
Anyway.
Speaking of that announcement, there was, like I said, no episode last week, but to compensate a little bit, Eli and I made a post Nintendo Direct reaction video. I really enjoyed it. There's some fun little effects in there. It was fun to edit, but Premiere wanted to fuck me that time. So I'm just glad it got released at all. So go check it out for pity. Just pity me, because that edit was not fun. And then also, because we haven't had a Gridlife Digest press conference in a couple weeks, go check out our Blasters of the Universe for PlayStation VR review. That was all Eli. And as well as Gridlife Plus, where you can check out the lineup of one of the best months for PlayStation Plus in a long time. Bloodborne, Ratchet & Clank, and then some duds. But the two tentpoles made up for it. So, speaking of video games, what have you guys been playing?
So I've been playing a little bit of Wolfenstein, trying to get that finished up. A little bit of Moss review coming soon, very, very soon. And just a tiny bit of XCOM here and there.
Nice. Just a little, just scratch that itch just here and there a little bit.
Yeah.
Nice. Very nice. What about you, Micah? You playing anything? I know you've been busy.
Yeah, I've been playing a gamer here and there. I started playing the last episode of Life is Strange, Beyond the Storm, or where the fuck.
Before the Storm,
yeah. Anyways, I booted that up, and it's a precursor, like prequel almost to like pretty much both of the games, like before the first season of Life is Strange. And like Max is a kid, and so is Chloe or whatever her name is, chick with the blue hair.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, it just wasn't interesting of me at the time. So you're just little kids, like maybe like 10 or 12 or something like that. I don't know. I can't tell people's ages anymore. But anyways, like you just pull up like a pirate map, and you're like, oh, remember this? Remember when we pretended we were pirates? I'm like, I'm turning this off.
Like, that's enough. That's enough.
Nah.
Not feeling this right now.
I just need to get in the mood for that game, because as soon as I get over that like hump of like this is dumb, like it'll I'm sure it'll get good.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Hey, remember this? Yeah, I hella remember that. Hella.
Yeah, exactly.
Hella
There was
pirates.
This is back when they thought hella was a bad word or didn't exist or both. So
it's taboo.
There's no mentioning of that. And let's see, what else have I been playing? Play a little bit more of Outlast 2.
Spooky.
Really spooky. I was thinking about streaming it, but I was like, I'm not good enough at this game. Like, as soon as I start streaming it, I won't know what to do. You know,
yeah. Where's all of the things I'm supposed to grab that are obscure?
Exactly. What generator am I supposed to turn on?
Yeah.
Where the fuck is a generator?
What the fuck is a generator in the first place?
What is a generator? What door do I open? What doors do I shut? What guy do I hide from? Just stuff like that. And I mean, it's a fun game. Just something I'm not confident in streaming. Maybe want to get better at it.
My mama actually wants to play that on her Switch.
It's coming out on Switch?
I think it's already out.
Your mom is like the biggest Switch fan.
Yeah.
She is.
Number one mom Switch
hours fan. Already.
Jeez.
That's fantastic.
Your mom has probably put more time into your Switch than I've put into my Switch.
Probably.
Which, I don't know, that's saying a lot. Let's see, what else have I been playing? Played a little bit more of Call of Duty Infinite Warfare.
I mean, you should probably finish that soon.
Yeah, I know.
Backlog coming soon.
Yeah, coming soon. Oh yeah, it'll be out at least by the 5th.
Pushing out soon.
It's the 11th. And I'm still not
that
done.
thing out.
I know. I will get that done. Okay, I promise you.
All right, it's a good game. You gotta finish it.
It is a good game.
The feels at the end.
Every moment I play it, I'm having a blast. But like usually I'm playing at night and I'm like I'm tired.
Mm-hmm.
Can I lay down and not use my brain for a bit?
Yeah,
that's usually my escapism. Whereas other people's escapism are video games. I mean, who would want to do that? Like you're just tiring your brain out more. I don't know. I just need to be in a certain mood. Maybe there's just something wrong with me. I shouldn't be playing video games.
Just like my brain just can't handle it.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you just gotta just decompress and not engage with anything. Just kind of put on Frasier and zone out.
Exactly. Like that has a good format I'm used to. That my brain's used to. Like, oh, they make the same joke like at least once an episode, or refer to Niles' wife, shit like that. So I would play a Frasier game. Like
Telltale.
Noah. Yep.
Telltale, get on it. That'd be so good.
It would be, and I'm sure that license is probably expired. So
jump on that.
Game to begin with.
You could probably easily get a hold of that without even paying for it.
I mean, unfortunately, you'll have to get someone else for his dad.
That's true.
But
rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace. But it would be so good. And it would be just as great. Like the way that we pitched it, it would be just as fucked up as every other Telltale game. So it would be right in their wheelhouse.
Yep. So
they're breaking new ground.
Know what, Telltale? Just hire me and I'll pitch you ideas like all damn day.
All that. They're all sitcom related.
Yeah. You just make an Office version. Make
The Office would be awesome too.
Parks and Rec. I mean,
Seinfeld would be my number one.
Oh man, Seinfeld for sure.
Yeah, just because it would be.
That's how they bring it back.
That's how they bring it back.
I mean, what would be a situation like Jerry? He's dating maybe 3 different girls at the same time, and he's trying to figure out what to do. Like,
what's the deal with foursomes?
Yeah, exactly. Like in the end, like the option is like date one of them, get rid of them all, or like have a foursome, something like that.
Go over to Kramer's and
hand him off a couple of them. Use his hot tub. Get some illegal TV from the Russians.
Never seen Seinfeld. I don't know if this is like something that happens often. Like,
they're terrible.
Fit in the universe.
Yeah, this is canon. I mean, it's not canon, but it's plausible. They're terrible people.
Oh my god.
They are very terrivery people.
That's kind of the point.
They need to include like the shrinkage joke.
You'd have all
the cold water in the pool.
You'd have all the Seinfeld touchstones scattered around.
Mm-hmm.
But would you have it modern day, or would you have it just kind of like a continuation off where the series left off? Because you could do anything. Because you couldn't do a live action series.
No.
Then
I feel like it would still be like it would leave off after the last episode,
mm-hmm.
or maybe be a prequel.
To just kind of like jam it in there somewhere.
Yeah, just something weird. Because that's
what some episodes, something like that.
Because there's multiple stories that could be told in there, and that would be a fun game.
I would love getting that platinum.
Oh yeah, what would the platinum be called? I don't know. It would just be like
no trophies for you or something like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say something like that.
It would just be like the sound effects.
What's the deal with platinum trophies?
It would be that, but like in text form.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be great. I love that so much. Yeah, every episode, this thing writes itself. Like every episode starts with the comedy set or whatever.
Easily.
Oh man, Telltale, you're sitting on a lot of great properties here.
Yeah.
get on with it. Walking Dead's ending. You need your next huge moneymaker.
And you have nothing but licensed games, so might as well pick up another license.
Yeah.
Not
Unexpected
yours.
license.
Yeah, unexpected. Oh man, if only we made games and we had like infinite amount of money to make them. We just pay people to make them for us, and we tell them what we want.
Yeah, I'm sure Kramer's trying to find some work somewhere.
I'm sure. I mean, he's kind of racist now, so
that's why we incorporate that into the story. He's like, wait, you're actually right. Yeah, like, wait, you're actually racist.
I think they might have done that in Curb.
Really? Yeah, I need to watch Curb.
Me too. Because it sounds like Seinfeld, but rated R.
It is.
Which is what I need in my life.
What if we do a in between Seinfeld and Curb? Like, what if it's like the bridge?
Curb Your Seinfeld.
Yeah.
What?
Something. Yeah, that would be nice.
That'd be interesting. Just it's all the same universe.
Yeah. Anyways, video games. What have you been playing, Noah?
So I've been pretty much exclusively playing Mass Effect 3, like religiously for the past several days. I can't stop. It's engrossed me every minute of my free time. I finished up 2 a little bit ago. I don't know if I talked about that last time, but I finished 2 and I was like, man, this is still one of my favorite games of all time. And I jumped in 3, mod the hell out of it for the first time. So it's very much a fresh experience despite playing it so many times.
That Nude Garrus mod?
No. But he does have like casual clothes now. So he's one step closer.
Sexy attire.
There's so many sexy attire mods though. It's like ridiculous. Not lore friendly though, so I'm not into it because I'm a fucking nerd. But everyone's so much more comfortable now. You walk around the ship like they're in like sweats. I'm like, this is how I would be. But
that is nice.
Like Liara is wearing like a tank top, hoodie, and like sweats and sneakers. I'm like, yeah, this is how you should be, instead of wearing this stringent armor all the time. Like, not down.
Like she's wearing like pajama bottoms, like she
basically
dropped her kid off at school or something.
Yeah, it's like you're sitting there studying in your lab all day and you gotta get comfortable. So yeah, it's really quite fantastic with all this new content. And everyone bitched about the ending, and there's actually a whole mod that basically completely overhauls the entire ending, so I'm gonna have a fresh experience there too.
Nice.
Yeah, just that was a big criticism, rightfully so in some ways. I didn't hate it as much as most people did. I think it was kind of hyperbolic, but it wasn't great. So to have this new ending is going to be fun.
Wasn't the ending like pick one of 3 colors?
Basically, so the cutscene, the outcomes were different, but the cutscene played out exactly the same, except for the explosion that ripples across the universe was either blue, green, or red. Red being you destroy the threat, green being you basically organic and synthetic life synthesize together and become like a new form of life. And then did you not play Mass Effect 3?
No.
Oh, so you just play 2?
Yeah.
Okay, so you need to get on that for 1. And then I'm spoiling the ending of Mass Effect 3. I thought you played it, Eli.
It's cool.
And then the blue explosion is Commander Shepard actually takes control of the Reapers as like this spiritual entity, and then uses them to help rebuild civilization. So really 3 just not great options. But yeah, this mod is supposed to be like a happy ending, or happier ending, where she survives and it's not quite as ridiculous. But that it also takes away the choice, so there's no choice at all. But I'd say that's better than having 3 shitty choices, in my opinion. Like, they're not even hard choices, they're just kind of inconsequential at the end. So they really kind of botched that ending. But that's a debate from 2012, so I'm not going to get too far into it. So good. That's all I can really say right now. But to Eli, play Mass Effect 3. What are you doing?
Put on PS4.
Yeah,
make a port.
Make a port. It also runs on virtually most machines. It's actually really optimized.
Put on iOS.
That would be terrible because that's by far the most like action oriented one in the whole trilogy, and that would be a nightmare. I can see 1 being fun because it's so simplistic, but
I mean, the first BioShock is on iPhone, which
really?
I don't understand
Fortnite's
that.
coming to
It's
iPhone,
fucking
so.
like
So is PUBG, like all those games coming to iPhone.
I mean, there's a
like,
ton of like Chinese PUBG ripoffs on mobile.
Oh, yeah.
And I
Like,
can't
legit
imagine that
Fortnite
being
is
fun.
coming.
Yeah, no, legit Fortnite's coming, which is nuts. Put that on, if you could put it on mobile, put it on Switch.
Yeah. It's a no-brainer.
Oh, yeah.
On a real fucking platform. But that sounds miserable. I could not imagine that being fun
I
at all.
know.
Especially
That shit
imagine
is hard enough
building
playing on a controller.
Yeah, it's like imagine trying to build on iOS. Like that does not sound fun whatsoever to me.
But imagine like on Switch, you could use like the touchscreen.
Yeah,
maybe,
exactly.
for some functionality. Like
Yeah.
I feel like that would make that game a lot easier actually than your main console ports.
Yeah, that's because the Switch is a real platform designed for games, not like the phone.
No, it's not. It's designed for swiping left and right.
Yeah,
And
down, up and down.
dragging the thing, and that's about it.
It's not ideal. I don't understand
Pinch,
mobile gaming.
zoom.
Yeah, pinch.
Yeah, pinch and zoom.
There's some functionality there, but not enough to play Fortnite, unfortunately.
No.
Well, in that case, we can move into topics. Play Mass Effect 3, everybody. It's not as bad as the internet says. Eli, what's your topic?
So my topic is how do you teach people how to play games? And I came up with this because my mom bought a Switch after she played Stardew Valley for at least 100 hours. I think like 140 something hours on mine.
Yeah.
And she bought a Switch, only has Stardew Valley. Every now and then I'll like come over and she plays Mario Kart. And I'm thinking like there's so many games that she can play on there. There's a lot of games on the Switch.
Like tennis.
But soon,
Is
yes,
there?
very soon.
Well, no, just the game tennis. It's just
Oh,
called
really?
tennis. Yeah, it's terrible. It's
Okay.
absolute trash.
Yeah, put some Mario in that and it'll be good.
Yeah.
Aces, baby.
Aces. Yeah, so like she can play Mario games like Mario Kart, probably Mario Tennis, fine. But I'm thinking like there's so many games out there that she can play, but I just don't know how to get her into it. So I don't know. Have you guys thought about that at all? Like getting people into video games and how do you introduce them to stuff and how do you teach them how to play? Like move from classic Mario side scroller A B jumping and whatever to maybe potentially like the analog sticks. That's usually the hardest barrier to get over with teaching people how to play video games is the analog sticks.
Yeah, that right stick, especially like just moving around or like moving a camera around is really tough for people.
Actually move the camera.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand it.
It's like walk forward, move camera, walk forward. It's like no, you gotta do both at the same time, and I know it's tough, but you'll get used to it. Have you thought about this at all, Micah?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, because it sounds like that transitioning from like 2D side scrolling to 3D is kind of hard. So I don't know. Maybe start at the beginning. Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers. You know, I feel like anyone can kind of grasp the concept of that. Like, oh, you go left and right, and then you jump and pick up things. Maybe no, you don't pick up anything. You just run in the
Flowers.
things. Yeah, you run in the flowers, and then you're
mushrooms.
Flower Mario. Yeah, I feel like that would be pretty simple for like I don't know, let's say like a 5-year-old, if not younger. Even though like Super Mario Brothers gets really fucking hard, but I guess my reasoning is like, you know, I want you to be like a decent gamer. You know what I'm saying?
I want you to get good.
Yeah.
I want you to play Last of Us. That's the goal.
Ungrounded.
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 No deaths, no nothing. Only with like certain weapons or some
MGS3, European
Full
Extreme,
stealth.
no trank, no kills.
Yep.
Type shit. Yeah.
But yeah, because I feel like I suck at video games mostly because like I didn't grow up with it because my parents are super conservative and thought video games were bad for me. You know, like oh, he's gonna always be thinking about him. You know, even when he's doing his schoolwork, all he can think about is playing video games. Even though what it would have been is like if they had like it's not like I think about video games all the time now. So why would I have done it when I was a kid?
Yeah.
It was only because they kind of like kept them away from me that I really wanted to play them.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
I'd think about them. Just, even though I wouldn't play them, I was like, fuck, I want to play this game. Whatever fucking DS game was out at the time.
You want what you can't have.
Exactly. So with my kid, or if I ever have a kid, or maybe I'll have a niece or a nephew or something that I'll get in the gaming. Maybe. I just start them out from the beginning, and then let's say maybe the next step would be like, I don't know, Mario 64 or something like that. I feel like that's one of the first 3D games, or maybe go from Mario to like the Lego games. Those are pretty simple.
Yeah.
And they have puzzles in there that are kind of difficult, but like if you work on them, you'll get good, as we say. And then
those
I guess
brands that kids recognize too.
Exactly, like, oh, Lego Batman, Batman's cool.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, or the Avengers one or the Star Wars one, like that. They have something.
Like the Hobbit.
Yeah, they do have the Hobbit. They have one for pretty much every Warner Brothers property.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would give something like for someone to kind of like relate to, like, oh, I like Spider-Man. He's in Marvel Avengers or whatever. Yeah, and then maybe just kind of make it more mature as you go. Like, I don't know, what would be the next step from there?
I don't want to hijack yours, but I feel like in my own personal like gaming development, I'm really grateful for having Zelda so early.
Oh, that's a good one.
Because one, you can do the transfer from 2D to 3D, but also reading is such a big part of it. And just encouraging that skill from an early age, I feel like is beneficial. So with that, it's kind of a natural progression from 2D, very problem solving, like even more so than Mario. It's a lot of like logic stuff and just kind of really good skills to have. And then jumping into 3D, learning how to control in a 3D space, but then also having that lock on, at least in Ocarina of Time, those older games, kind of a way to easily orient yourself in a 3D environment. So like really those games I feel like are a really good candidate for like a starter series. But especially even you probably want to wait until they're a little bit older for them, but still I feel like it's a good choice.
And I feel like Ocarina of Time would be a good one.
Yeah.
Because that game has a lot of puzzles and it gets really hard. Like especially in the water temple.
But it like ramps up. It's like a gradual climb.
Yeah.
Because it's really easy at first.
Whereas for me, like I had a friend like showing me what the fuck to do because I could not figure it out for the life of me.
I mean, Water Temple can go fuck itself, but besides that, it's pretty doable.
Damn. Shots fired.
Dude, it sucks.
Yeah.
Nobody likes the Water Temple.
And I feel like the reason why I wasn't so great at that game was because I didn't develop that like the problem solving skills like as in like video games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that logic of how games work.
I wasn't able to like think like maybe the developer think to make that game, because I've noticed that's how you have to think. Like you have to think like the guys who made it to understand what's going on, and basic problem solving is a good skill and it can be transferred to real life.
Yep, absolutely.
Vice versa. So yeah, and then I don't know, I'd move them up from there to maybe like the Uncharted games.
Really? Okay.
Mostly because they're my favorite games of all time.
Yeah.
And then they're also like, they're teen, and like it's more like pulpy, fun action instead of like brutal and gross.
The Last of Us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you get your fun climbing mechanics. You get some third person shooting in there. You get a little bit of everything. You get some hand to hand combat. That's what it would be. And then I guess Last of Us from there.
Just Naughty Dog. Just like, all right, you mastered the Nintendo, off to the Naughty Dog. Well, if you're gonna do that, you gotta throw in Jak and Daxter, which you have a lot of the same elements that you just mentioned.
I just don't like Jak and Daxter, mostly because I played it on Vita. It was not good.
Yeah, that's not a great first impression.
No, so to me, those games run like garbage on no matter what console they're on.
Unfortunately, not the case. But I would probably put Ratchet and Clank over Jak and Daxter just because of my own personal nostalgia,
Yeah,
and I just think they're better games.
they are better.
Sorry,
games.
Emma, but I've thought
Sly
about this a
Cooper beats
lot.
all
I mean, honestly,
franchises, so.
that's the major PlayStation franchise I have really next to no experience about. I played the first one for about 10 minutes on Vita, and I was like, "This is cool. I'll get back to this." And then yeah, so but like if I played it as a kid, I think I would have a lot more reverence for it, especially because it has so many of those like stealth elements that I love.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've thought about this a lot, just thinking like, if I were to have a kid one day and I would want to gradually introduce them to games, like what order would I go in? And I would try to start them off with the earlier, older stuff so that they can have an appreciation for new stuff instead of just throwing them into new stuff. I think would be a shame. You gotta like lay the foundation first. So like Nintendo stuff, then gradually moving into 3D transition stuff. Maybe like hopefully by this time CTR will be on a modern console. Definitely
over Mario Kart.
I mean, it's all about personal nostalgia. Of course, Mario Kart's gonna be in there. But I just love CTR so much. Mario Kart 8, best kart racer of all time.
See, but by the time like we have kids and they're like old enough to play games, like they're gonna have so much to play.
Exactly. That's why you gotta
stuff that came before us and all the stuff that came after us.
Yeah,
like that's a lot of games, to go from the beginning to like whatever there now is. Like I don't know. For me, like when I would have a kid, would probably be in like 2027. That seems like a good date. Like I'm 30 years old. Okay, time to pop one out.
Pop one out.
Not for me, but a lady, hopefully. So yeah,
I'll make this thing myself.
Yeah, I'll make it myself. Fucking, I don't need women.
You're like Thanos. Like, fine, I'll do it myself.
Yeah, I'll do it myself. I'll just like wield a kid out of like existence. Yeah. Maybe make him out of like clay, like because I think that's
like
how
Wonder
God
Woman.
Did it.
Yeah.
Let's just throw a rib in there. Off the table. Yeah.
Gotta have it.
Isn't that how God created like Adam and Eve? No, that's how he created Eve, like out of some clay and then like one of Adam's ribs. So does that mean we're supposed to have more ribs? I don't know.
We're not
less
doing
or
less. Less, yeah.
I'm confused on analogy and religion.
But anyway, I would probably start them at the very least. Actually, probably earliest, probably Super Nintendo-ish, like Super Mario World. I don't know if I'd go older than that because while I love a lot of that stuff, it just does not hold up even now. So, but I feel like the 16-bit era is going to hold up pretty much for all time, visually and
Mario
mechanically.
3 NES?
It was.
Wow.
It was. So actually, no. I would say to SNES because then you can then introduce them to the masterpiece that is Mario All-Stars plus World, and so that's probably the #1 greatest video game card of all time. So give them that, and then maybe transfer them to 64 just to have them understand what 3D is like, and then also just they were really smart. I mean, 64 is a great game, but like they were really smart having a visualization for the camera being what's his name? Lakitu? Yeah, like being Lakitu, like that was really smart. It's just so, like we can all consciously wrap our heads around what this means and what this is like. So I'd probably do the same, and then also introduce Zelda for all the reasons that I mentioned, and I'll just because it's fantastic. And then I don't know if I'd go straight into an Uncharted or something. Maybe just see where their own tastes lie from there, because after that generation, it expands into lots of crazy stuff.
Yeah, I'd say you got to move into PS2 stuff.
Stuff, but see what they gravitate towards.
So you got to go by generation by generation is what you're thinking.
Yeah, but you don't have to like clean out the entire generation. Just kind of like build up the steps so then they can then appreciate things later.
Like at least one game from that generation from like PS2 or GameCube, Xbox.
Yeah, I'd give them Ratchet and Clank because it has that like slightly more mature humor. So maybe like if they're like like 10 or 11 or something like that, and then kind of move into more mature stuff with the next generation after that.
Straight into Call of Duty.
Probably not straight into Call of Duty. Probably maybe something more like Halo, which is a little bit more kid friendly.
That makes more sense.
And then that would also
play Halo. They're like 7 and 8.
Yeah, it's like apart from the flood stuff, it's pretty.
They just play like the arcade mode.
Yeah. and then that would also introduce dual stick and the concept of first person.
Yeah.
And then also just Martin O'Donnell. After that, they would ideally kind of be much more mature by that point. So maybe you can start introducing something like an Uncharted. Because at this point, I would have shown them Indiana Jones and stuff like that, and they'd understand that it's pulpy and not real. So yeah, it's just kind of the progression of just seeing where everything's been, seeing how far we've come visually, but then also mechanically, but then just also just having an appreciation for the other stuff. And then I'd probably also give them something like Mega Man from an early age, if for like the get goodness. It's like, all right, this is this will test your metal, child. Probably not some like Dark Souls. Like here's Dark Souls.
Oh yeah, no thanks. I just want to say, like, if my kid's like shit talking someone as like a 12-year-old on Xbox Live or whatever, like, I'm taking his Xbox or PlayStation away.
Yeah, that's why I'm gonna steer him clear of online stuff.
Yeah,
I'm gonna mold my perfect single player gamer child.
Yeah. And then maybe by the time he's like 15 or 16, it's like, okay, now you can play online.
Now you can play Elderly Warfare.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fucking
World War 3.
Black Ops.
I mean, Modern Warfare 3 was World War 3, but yeah, no, it'll be.
They're gonna remake it.
They're gonna remake it. Yeah, Modern Warfare 3 remastered. When that happens, I'll know I'm old. Like, cause that game I remember coming out like yesterday. Yeah, man. I don't know. I don't know when I introduced Call of Duty because the campaigns are pretty brutal at times, but they're very tongue in cheek, but then also really serious. So it just kind of depends on which one.
I think my real introduction to Call of Duty was like 3, and I didn't I just knew it was World War II, and it was like, okay, this is kind of interesting, but I didn't really get into it until Zombies,
Black Ops.
World at War.
World at War. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, World at War was one of my first. I had since gone back and played them all. The only Call of Duty I haven't played was World War II, even though I was really excited for it. So yeah, having one of your first be World at War is pretty rough because considering that's so much more brutal than a lot of the rest. But I was also at an age where I could understand the historical significance.
It was mostly zombies, like killing zombies. It feels different than like actual historical like murdering Japanese people.
Japanese people coming out of the fucking forest with their bayonets charging at you and shit. It's crazy.
So I have a question, like how closely would you follow like the ESRB ratings? Like, oh, you're not 17 yet, you can't play Last of Us, too brutal for you.
Every kid's different. Every kid's different. You have to judge them on their own maturity level.
Okay.
You can't just put a blanket statement over it. Like that's why rating systems don't really work all that well. Because like Halo, like I said, is way more acceptable than like a Call of Duty or Last of Us, and they're the same rating, and they have a lot of the same parameters. So you really just have to judge a case by case basis.
And like how well the kid would take it. You know, because some kids might go out and try and act it out in real life. Or not to that extent, but like.
Play it like pretend.
Exactly. Like I'm gonna slit your throat, or some shit like that.
Yeah, I'm not. Okay, rated M games definitely not until like they're at least mature enough to like understand what's happening. But like teen, whenever they want to, like, because that's so like ambiguous. Like what can be a teen game, Like it could just be the music. Like Tony Hawk is a teen game.
Yeah.
There's also the blood in Tony Hawk, though.
Yeah. You could probably turn that off, I feel like.
Yeah, you can. But like Arkham City is a teen, and that pushes it like to like the top degree. So that's another thing where you just have to kind of just judge. It's like that has blood and swearing and everything. It's they just said fuck it, made Night and an M. There's like we need to take this barrier off. We're almost there anyway. Oh man, I cannot wait to introduce my kids to Batman games someday.
Yes.
Oh my god, that's gonna be a special moment. Too bad Arkham Asylum Remastered sucks.
Ooh,
it does suck.
They can play the PS3 version.
Yeah, play a PS3 version of Arkham Asylum, but then luckily the remaster of City is pretty much immaculate. So,
or just have them play it on PC and give them an Xbox controller or something.
There you go.
Because I think that would be the way to go.
Yeah.
By then, like every computer could play that. I'm sure.
A good PC can play pretty much every game we grew up with.
Mm-hmm.
Arkham City on PC or Arkham Asylum on PC like holds up pretty damn good.
It does. I was playing it like a couple months ago, and like you can play that in 4K, and like it looks so sharp.
Yeah,
like, it's the way that game's meant to be played. But anyways, like on it, like the text is so fucking small. Just because when you up the resolution, the text gets smaller for some reason. It's like, why are you doing this?
Oh shit, KOTOR. Oh my god, I cannot wait to. Oh Jesus, that's gonna be a wonderful moment too.
That's the game that Emma would have her kids playing like from
first.
The get-go.
Yeah, it's like no, it's like there's a few things you need to understand prior to that being, this really deep BioWare RPG. Probably not a good one to start off with, but
she shows them Star Wars, and then a year later, when they're like 3 or 4, here's KOTOR.
Yeah, 2-year-olds showing. Yeah, what? So this is also another thing I thought about. Like, what age would you introduce your children to Star Wars? Because by this time, it's going to be completely taken over the world, and every movie is going to be in the Star Wars universe.
I don't even know.
It's going to be sad by that point. I don't even know if there's going to be any magic left.
So I've talked about this like with my family and stuff a lot. Like, I'm gonna fuck with my kids so much. Like I'm gonna raise them as if like none of the technology, like modern technology, exists.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be like my childhood, but through them. So they're gonna start out like, hey, here's this CRT TV, here's a bunch of VHSs.
Those are still around.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is ideal. This is like,
yeah. I gotcha.
I guess I can show them like Blu-rays of the original trilogy or whatever.
That works.
Not those. No. You need to get the despecialized editions.
Hopefully, those exist still.
They'll
probably
be like,
don't let us down.
They'll probably be several $100s by then.
I have.
They can't sell them. They have to be free.
Despecialized.
Oh, okay.
But that's it. But yeah, like show them the original trilogy and be like, hey, these movies came out a long time ago, and then when they're like 5 or something, be like, they made new Star Wars 1, 2, and 3.
Whoa, they just pumped these out. See, I don't know if I'd even show them the prequels.
Same here.
I would just be like, this is the only Star Wars that exists. Have fun. Like, there's no other Star Wars.
Trilogy.
Yeah, just the original trilogy. Like, if it does become as sad as I kind of predicted that it will, it's like, all right, they were 3 movies. There was nothing else after that. Maybe the sequel trilogy if 9 turns out.
I don't know.
I'm not showing them. I don't know if I can sit through Phantom Menace, clones, and Sith with a child because they might like it and they're wrong.
Not even for a baby Noah.
No,
this won't work.
I loved it when I was a kid. I was like, this is so cool, Mace Windu. And
they have to go through that experience where they love something and then realize
you take it away.
Trash.
You got a point there. You kind of got a point there. We'll see.
Well, see, like with me in the original trilogy, like that's what I first watched, and like even at the time, I'm like, I hate Star Wars. I don't like it. Like I remember watching those movies.
The prequels?
Damn.
Yeah, like I did not like those movies. I was like, why are people liking them? Like in my head, I didn't know why they were bad.
Yeah.
I just knew they were.
So you were smarter than most kids.
I guess I was. And then after that, like my parents showed me the original trilogy. I'm like, why didn't you just show me this first? It's way better. This is way better. Wars is.
You spoiled this for me.
Appreciate it more.
Yeah. Oh man.
Maybe show it to him first, and then just be like, this shit sucks. Here's the Empire Strikes Back. Yeah.
But my fear is that turns them off from Star Wars as a whole.
Yeah, it's a kind of that's why I'm just like no risk, don't risk it. Just show them the original trilogy, and then and then if they care, if they really 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 take to it, then maybe expands like, oh, do you actually want to know how Darth Vader became Darth Vader?
You want to see Darth Vader as a child,
and do you want to see a bunch of racism, and then show them those, and it's like, and then they made more after that, and they never stopped. And our life is Star Wars now.
Yeah, they're gonna grow up with Star Wars coming out like every year probably.
We're gonna die before they stop making Star Wars movies, and I don't know if I like that world.
Nah.
So I have a little like side tangent. So you know how these kids are growing up with like playing with their parents' iPads, like they start off on them when they're like 3.
Yeah, not down with that at all.
Even younger.
I don't want that to happen with my kid at all.
No.
I'm not letting him touch a smartphone until maybe, I don't know, like he's at least in his double digits, like till he's like 10,
Mm.
That just pisses me off.
That's what fucks up kids. It's like,
yeah, don't give him a fucking iPad when he's like 2, you know? And
yeah, it's nuts.
oh man, that shit pisses me off because they'll be like looking up shit on like YouTube by accident and see
also,
some disturbing shit.
YouTube just in general. Yeah, YouTube in general is a giant no. Like it is a blanket statement no. And
even the kids version, because there's some fucked up shit on the kids version too.
There's some more fucked up shit on the kids version than the normal version.
Yeah.
The fucking Spider-Man Elsa shit. Like no,
that's not good.
Oh my
guppies?
God. I have seen bubble guppies.
Not the real bubble guppies.
Oh
but
no.
Like
Oh God, no. I can only imagine.
It's terrible, but I don't know. It's bad but good.
Yeah. Oh man. I don't want to picture that. Yeah, YouTube is a giant no. That's just the internet. Just the internet doesn't exist.
Just the internet in general, like I'm taking off of that thing, like it's disabled, you know, and I'm not letting you figure out how to
games.
Yeah.
You get PS2 games and the original Star Wars trilogy and some VHSs. That's what you get.
That's all you get. Like you're not gonna be a corrupted generation like Z or whatever they're called.
Yeah, we need to fix our mistakes of our parents or the parents that are raising little children now.
That are possibly our age too.
Just throwing this out there. Anyone want to give me credit for this? The generation that's babies right now, Generation I. Know what I'm saying? Lowercase I.
Why?
Boom.
I'm confused.
Because iPads, iPhones.
Oh shit!
All that shit.
Black Mirror.
Yeah. Like this generation is gonna be on an episode of Black Mirror, like for sure.
Cats or birds.
You got a point there. You're speaking some truths, and it's frightening.
It's disturbing.
I don't know who listens to this podcast, but
just say it. You spread it.
Just saying, yeah.
Yeah, Generation I, lowercase I.
That's got to be a thing. That's too obvious.
It is, because I mean that's all they'll know is iPhones, iPads,
and Star Wars sequels forever.
Yeah. Last Jedi.
Last Jedi.
Just Disney and Amazon own everything, and
they do.
That's all they have.
Everything under the sun, except for maybe like Samsung.
No, Amazon bought Samsung a long time ago.
Did they?
In this dystopian future,
Okay.
Yeah. In the future, yes.
Yeah. In the cyberpunk Blade Runner future we're gonna live in, yes. Absolutely.
Oh man.
So video.
I mean, like Samsung's stock, they're like $1 million a piece. So like I don't see them being sold off anytime soon.
I mean, it's not gonna be anytime soon, but one day.
One day.
Yep.
So they make all sorts of stuff. I mean, they're diversified.
Also, Apple. I think Apple's going to be around too. But
yeah, Apple. I mean, I don't see them making dishwashers, but they got everything else. So
they'll start the i dishwasher.
iDishwasher. It's obsolete in a year.
Siri, wash my dishes.
Okay, that would be cool.
No, I don't know. I'd rather just push a button.
Okay. Your house is like an Apple house then. It's just controlling itself at that point.
Transcendence.
Smart house.
The iHouse.
The iHouse.
The iHouse.
IHOP.
Even that goes obsolete after like 5 years.
Yeah, you have to buy a new house.
It starts
rumbling.
It just starts getting slower and slower. Like the doors open slower and slower.
On purpose. They make it do that on purpose.
Yeah, to conserve electricity or something.
The firmware. You got to update your house firmware.
Yeah, like you got the
toilet.
You got the iHouse 2. I have the iHouse 5. You peasant.
Yeah, you fucking peasant.
5+.
Yeah, the iHouse 5 Plus.
The 5 Plus has a 2-car garage.
It has 5 rooms. I don't know. However that works.
Oh my god.
It's like the entry level is like at least like 2 million. So
I don't want to think about this way too likely
made
future.
Out of aluminum.
So much aluminum.
It just gets blown off the face of the earth.
It looks like the prequels. Just everything's so clean and shiny.
You're living on
Camino.
It's just uncomfortably clean. Like it should not be this clean at all. Like
it's either gonna look like Camino or look like Coruscant / Blade Runner LA. I would not be surprised by either.
Mm-hmm.
So we got anything else to say on entry level video gaming?
Actually, yes. I'm
Okay.
surprised neither of you mentioned Pokemon.
Oh shit, yeah.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
It's baby's first RPG, so that's
how I'm gonna get him into RPGs, and then I'll introduce KOTOR, and then no, The Witcher is gonna be like when you're fucking 19 years old, because that shit's fucked up. But yeah, you give him Pokemon, you give him like KOTOR, then you give him Dragon Age. No, that's a little fucked up too. Give him Mass Effect. That's a little fucked up too. Probably Mass Effect. It's not it's, compared to Dragon. I don't want to get him a crackhead.
No.
No. RuneScape.
No, especially not RuneScape. We don't want another.
We don't want another Max.
We have a dad as it is.
Yep.
RPGs are fucked up. So maybe keep him on Knights of the Old probably 1 and 2 for like 7 years, and then graduate him up to Dragon Age and everything else.
So, what Pokemon would you start him out with, Eli? I'm curious.
I mean, if they remaster the old ones, probably those.
There's got to be a remaster of the old ones by then.
Yeah,
there's got to be on like every Nintendo platform after the Switch or something.
I mean, hopefully. Yeah. Okay, so they just put out a statement saying like a rumor, not a statement, but they're like the Switch one is going to be like a quote unquote reboot. So hopefully it is the Red and Blue 2 that we all want. So maybe if we can start them off there. Here's hoping. Fingers crossed. That's what everybody wants, and I hope they deliver. Come on, Nintendo. It's easy.
They need to get rid of like all the Pokemon coming after.
Just cut it off at like Gen 3.
After what, Pearl?
No, after that, I agree, because that's when the Pokemon started looking really dumb. Like, oh, now you have
ice cream Pokemon.
Yeah, you got your garbage.
That's when they fucked up.
You got your garbage, your trash Pokemon. Those
literal trash.
Yeah, just a literal trash bag. Like, not down with that.
All these Ultra Evolution bullshit.
You get rid of that. Get rid of the Mega Stones.
We need that original 150.
Yeah, and then just delete all the other ones, and then stay with the good ones forever.
Yeah,
don't make any more Pokemon.
Have a giant fucking Pokemon genocide and wipe out like 3/4 of the population.
Yeah, like they're extinct now. Like that's how you fit it into the
extinction event.
Lore. Yeah,
only the Kanto region survives.
Pokemon extinction.
I mean, there's the whole theory that it's already post-apocalyptic.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
actually.
Like post-World War. That's why there's no there's not a lot of men, like grown men around.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Lieutenant Surge.
Mm-hmm.
And
what's his story?
And if you really want those older Pokemon, you can like transfer them from your old games. And then there'd be like a mode where you can only battle with the original or with the ones you imported or something like that. Just for those people who like the garbage Pokemon.
Yeah, it's like they're there, but you're gonna have to jump through some hoops to actually get to them. Yeah,
we're gonna make it real hard for you. You have to have like four like switches for some reason.
You'll have to get the Switch headphone thing with like all the different wires attached to it and the phone app. Yeah,
you hook it up to your phone and then it goes into another Switch, and then from there you plug it into a Wii U, back into your Switch, and then you plug it into your landline, then into your PC, and then I don't know, just every possible device you have laying around. Like
call this number and input your friend code.
Yeah.
Your friend code. Oh, it didn't work. We still don't have cloud saves yet.
We need at least 2 credit cards and your unborn baby.
We need to send your unborn baby to the robotic husk of Miyamoto that we keep at Nintendo headquarters.
Give us your bed.
Give us we need a down payment on your iHouse. Anyway, before it gets too out of hand.
That would have kept on going.
Yeah, I would have helped it kept on going. I can't wait to introduce a kid to Metroid Prime too. That's gonna be like another great moment for me. And Metal Gear, but that's gonna be way later. It's like, can your brain understand weight over complexity?
My kid will have to introduce me to Metal Gear.
Probably.
At prom, I want to film the video where I explain it.
Yes.
Let's do it.
It's going to be... Okay, my vision for it is like it's filmed like The Office style, where it's like a shaky cam and like very low budge. And I'm going to do it, and it's going to be great.
And then cutaways to us being...
Yeah. What the fuck is happening?
Like, I'll be sitting down, and then it'll like... zoom in like on like Eli's face, like
Yeah.
he's really confused.
Yeah. I want to be like standing. I want to have everyone like on the couch or whatever, and like me standing up with a whiteboard, and then just kind of going through it.
Yes,
Like have
whiteboard.
Micah probably film it because you understand the story.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as you can understand the story. I
Yeah.
swear it's not as complicated as everyone says. I'm going to set out. This is my quest to set out to prove it. I'm probably going to fail miserably. Anyway, that's some foreshadowing for the future, the kind of far future at this point. All right, so we can probably move on. So my topic, we were talking about Star Wars earlier and how it's sad and it's never going to stop. Disney announced that Jon Favreau is going to produce and write a live action series. Are you?
It's a TV series, right?
Yeah, sorry, Micah got all fucked up. Yeah, so Jon Favreau is going to produce and write a live action Star Wars TV series. Probably it's going to air on the Disney streaming service, if I have to guess, which will make it easy to get, I guess. But I just want to know, because there's a lot of ways they could go about doing this. I want to know, if you were showrunning this Star Wars TV series, what would you make it? What would the structure be? What would the general plot be? Just kind of off the top of your head. You can start us off, Eli.
You know, I gotta say, there's a lot of lore out there. That's in between. What's it called? Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens.
Yep, 30 years of plot we could do.
There's a lot going on. I know. No, Rebels was before.
It was before New Hope. It was 3 and 4.
The New Hope.
Yeah.
So we're kind of missing. We have a big gap. If we throw away Battlefront 2, I don't know how much is actually spoken about, but
wipe it off the face.
We'll say there's nothing. There's nothing in between the two series trilogies. So yeah, I'd say something in between there. There's plenty of books to draw from. It doesn't need to be a total adaptation, but like there's got to be something there that's worth adding.
There's a lot of books that covers that, but yeah, most people don't read those that go see the movies.
No, yeah, and like comic books
and novels, they've somewhat filled in that gap, somewhat, but there's still plenty of room, especially when you compare the gap between the prequels and the original trilogy.
Yeah, there's something. I want it to be bounty hunter focused, though. I know we talked about like that bounty hunter movie back in the day,
but a whole series, holy shit,
several episodes ago. But yeah, bounty hunters. I don't know on this Disney streaming thing. I don't know. It's probably going to be like G rated or whatever.
Probably like
or PG.
Yeah. Probably like original trilogy level.
Which sucks. I'm hoping that the movies that the Game of Thrones guys do are possibly hard 13. Probably not R, but
it's like Rogue One level.
Yeah.
13.
So not Rogue One level, but more than like Rebels and like all the cartoons and stuff.
Yeah. Because like Clone Wars and Rebels, from what I understand, they do get dark, but they don't show a lot. Like Clone Wars toward like the last few seasons, like is fucked up in some parts, but they're not going to get that on a widescreen level.
So yeah, I'm hoping for like a bounty hunter series that's in between, like a little more mature, kind of like Agents of Shield, but bounty hunters. I mean, not like same plot, but like that sort of
it follows that main story.
That
would be great. I love that. My first thought was a anthology Black Mirror type situation where every episode is like an hour long and like it follows a different story thread, because then you can kind of really like spend a lot more money on each individual story instead of carrying across one giant story. But I'd also like to see a through line, so I'd take either. I mean, I'm gonna probably watch it regardless, but I was just thinking like there's so many small pockets that you could explore in the Star Wars universe that you probably couldn't dedicate an entire movie to, but an episode of a TV show, you could easily go into these pockets of the universe that we don't really see. Like we could do a bounty hunter arc. You could do, I kind of just want to see one from just the perspective of just like a normal family, like living in this world. Like what does that mean? And then
like that.
yeah, and you can bounce around the time periods too. You can be like, this one is set between 3 and 4. This one is, after A New Hope, where the rebels are kind of really gaining traction. You have this one which is set in between Jedi and Force Awakens, kind of fill in that gap with the New Republic. Like there's so many places you could go with it. You have one that's in the Clone Wars, like you go back even further with that with the Old Republic, but which they're not going to do because they're pansies. They just do the Old Republic. I hope the Game of Thrones guys are doing Old Republic, because if that marriage sounds fantastic.
Yeah. A lot of sword fighting.
A lot of sword fight. Just like imagine like watching all of like the Game of Thrones like lightsaber edits on YouTube. I'm like, please. Just please. I need that in my life.
Old Republic has a lot of political stuff going on.
Oh, there's
too.
it has all of the political intrigue of the prequels that if you did well would be really entertaining, plus hundreds of Sith and Jedi fighting each other.
I like that.
With a mature tone. And it would be fantastic. And you could totally just distance it from all of the established canon. You wouldn't have to have the fear of stepping over a comic book or a novel that's already been made, because Disney hasn't touched this period yet. So please, Disney, you have so much to work with there. Do it in some capacity, be either in this show that you're making. If they come out and the show's in the New Republic and it's all one through line, I mean, that's probably the number one for me. But the next best thing, I would say, is probably an anthology. Or like you said, something to bridge the gap between the two other trilogies.
Cool.
Yeah. Do you have any opinion, Micah?
Yeah. I don't know if you'll like my opinion, but it's it's my opinion and I'm entitled to it. So anyways, I kind of wanted to be along the lines like how that game what was it, Tales from the Borderlands, how that was kind of like kooky, and like you have a band of like
kind of campy a little bit. That would be awesome.
Yeah, a little campy.
That's
like,
kind of like Rebels. I could see that as like kind of like Rebels.
Yeah, like just a campy Star Wars story, or like they do get serious, like, oh, they got caught stealing something, now they're about
But
to
not
chop their heads off.
childish.
Yeah, not childish, but like I feel like Tales from the Borderlands, it nailed that tone perfectly. Like yeah, it was like corny at times, but like it was a good kind of corny. I can hang with this. And so I basically want that with like just totally different characters, and like maybe they start on like Tatooine or whatever, and then they
don't go back to Tatooine. We've had enough Tatooine.
Well, another like desert place kind of.
We've had too many desert places too.
Jakku.
Well, the only reason I bring up deserty places is because that's where a lot of Borderlands stuff is taking place.
So you have that same imagery. I want something on Dantooine. Not enough Dantooine content out there. It's a cool planet.
Dantooine.
Okay. You can Yavin content.
Yeah.
But like,
well, we have the best Yavin content, which is the first animated Clone Wars series. Sorry to cut you off, Mike. I had to bring it up.
Well, anyways, I was just gonna say, like, I want your Han Solo-esque character.
Gotta have it.
Like you want that badass in there. And
your token rogue.
Yeah, and then your token Chewbacca, token robot.
It's like kind of like a Guardians of the Galaxy almost.
Not really. I mean, I guess, but in terms of the
ensemble, yeah.
Maybe like down the corniness to like 50%. Like don't make it overboard like that. We already got Guardians of the Galaxy. We don't need that again. But that's basically what I want. And, I don't know, make it like a couple seasons long, and then cut it off because I don't want it to be too long.
I just feel like that's a lot of what Rebels is, because it is kind of very childish at first, but it matures deeply over time. It's not as the ideal 2 seasons like you described, but it does. It is kind of that band kind of feeling, and varying tone throughout it.
I haven't watched it. I mean, so maybe that's why I came up with that. If I had watched it, I wouldn't have come up with that. So in my head it's
I need to finish it, but like once you get past the animation, like it's actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And it incorporates the characters that we know in a decent way, rather than just like shoving them in your face like a lot of things do. It's like, here's Darth Vader. It's like, no, he's actually utilized. So
and I don't really want like a bunch of Star Wars lore to be thrown in there. You know, I mean, I know a lot of people like that, but I want to cut back on it. I mean, you can make a couple references, but like, don't go too deep into like the the Order of the Jedi and like the Sith.
Yeah, stay away from that stuff.
Yeah, I don't really want that. I want the small time Star Wars characters. You know, like D-list even, like no one, the guys that no one gives a fuck about. You know, but
that
like
sounds great.
Create a funny story with that. Like, you know, take it where you want.
Nee and Num, just have the whole series about Nee and Num. You got a season of content right there. That guy's life is nuts.
Yeah.
He has so much backstory. It's crazy. Love it. It's way more entertaining than Solo's gonna be.
Damn.
Yeah, saying it right now. Actually, I'm looking forward to Solo. I'm looking forward to everything about Solo but Solo himself.
Yeah, I love me some Chewbacca.
Yeah, I'll take some Chewie. I'll take some, just that period. I like the pre-A New Hope period a lot. Just the, existing in the Empire, but they're gonna beat that horse to death, because they're Disney's obsessed with the original trilogy imagery, which I can't blame them. But we're gonna get that era forever.
As much as we might not want that, another series I was thinking of is maybe like a very limited run series that is in the vein of Rogue One, where like there's a definite end because these characters are going to die just based on what happens in the original trilogy. Yeah. Or it could be any trilogy, I guess, where like there's like a mass like killing of people and it's unavoidable.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe like someone like a Han Solo type, and then like towards the end of the show, you find out like it's him going back to his home, back to his family after like doing this giant like drug smuggle or whatever they smuggle in space.
Yeah.
And he's going back home, and it ends up being Alderaan.
Oh shit.
And
damn.
Like that's the last season.
That's a killer ending.
Trying to get back home to his family in Alderaan, and then the last episode, he gets there, and then you just see like a giant green laser coming at him.
Oh my god, that would be pretty fantastic. I have several ideas because I always think about what Star Wars could be and how it's not being used to its fullest potential. But did you guys both see there was a fan-made anime TIE Fighter short? Did you guys see that?
Yeah, I think we talked about it a while
We talked about that? Okay, just making sure. Anything Imperial focused, I'm 100% down with. A full-length, full season of that would be amazing. Never going to happen. And then also kind of like a Band of Brothers type series where you'd have that finite end, but it's very military focused. I would also like, specifically with the Empire. I think that would be awesome. But we're never gonna get
501st, baby.
Yeah, have it be the 501st, or have it just be some random sect of the Imperial military that we don't know about. And then you can have that Rogue One grit, but then also leave room for some of the more fantastical elements, or have it be like Cops and have it all be completely ridiculous. But there's so much you could do, and I cannot shake the feeling that Disney is going to completely underutilize what they have. They're going to stick to such a stringent interpretation of what Star Wars is that we're never going to get Star Wars at its biggest, most entertaining potential, and that's sad to me because they could do so much.
Like I want to trust Jon Favreau, but there's only so much he can do with Disney over his shoulder at all times.
Yeah, the Emperor Kathleen Kennedy breathing down his shoulder, breathing down his neck the whole time. Just it has to have this, has to have this, has to have this. That kind of stuff is just it's gonna keep the creativity, the possible creativity down. Like you look at what happened with Solo. It's like these guys were trying to do something drastically different, and they were like, no, boot him out. He's a good filmmaker, and he should be able to take some creative liberty, and they're not gonna let that happen, and that sucks.
Yeah, look what he did to Iron Man, and that was before the Disney deal. Yeah, the first Iron Man.
Not the second one.
Second one, Disney got a little bit.
Yeah.
Their hands were in it. MCU is a thing. The first one, there was nothing tying anything together. It was just, hey, you're a filmmaker, make this cool superhero film. Iron Man 1, one of the best
Who the fuck,
superhero movies
who
out
the
there.
fuck is Iron Man? And now everyone knows and loves Iron Man because of that movie right there.
Like him and Robert Downey Jr. They're the two reasons.
Yeah, get Robert Downey Jr. in Star Wars. He could play a rogue.
Oh man.
I mean, it would be way too overt, and I wouldn't want that at all. But they could do it.
Yeah, they could pull it off.
It's like that's just Robert Downey Jr. Whatever the series is, I want them to use unknown actors for one, and then also
just send. All right, go ahead. Sorry,
I was gonna say use unknown actors, and then also with the lowered budget that comes with a series, you can kind of use the George Lucas-isms of filmmaking and kind of make it low budget, but then also really convincing. So kind of like bring back the original trilogy charm that they've been trying to emulate, but with a big budget, kind of, using very non-traditional props and stuff to make that universe. Because kind of, how like all like the blasters for the Imperials are all like just actual guns, just spray painted black or whatever. Just kind of like stuff like that.
Gun.
Yeah, just stuff like that. Like there's just stuff crammed together. I feel like they could really capture that same aesthetic and magic again. Because like they're doing it, but they're very overtly doing it. They're trying to give us that old grungy look, but just having scarcity of budget, I feel is going to lead to more creative things, like George had to deal with. If that makes sense.
We'll see. I mean, you look at Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., like that's Disney, that's Marvel, like endless amounts of money, but it doesn't look good.
Great. It doesn't look great.
CGI looks bad.
Yeah.
Like just don't use CGI.
Yeah. If we can get like a ton of if we can get like a ton of practical effects to the extent of the original trilogy, I think that would be awesome. Like have models for the ships. Like could you imagine how cool that would be? Like come on.
Man.
And they're not going to do it though. They're not going to do it. It's all going to be CGI.
Just terrible CGI. Like just don't do it. And I just want to say like I feel like I'm probably the least of the Star Wars fans, or you know what I'm saying. Like I'm not as big a Star Wars fan as the rest of you, so like I don't have as much to say, but I can still throw in my 2 cents. But when half of these characters you're mentioning, I don't even know. I'm sorry to admit that, but it's just
knee and numb, man.
Yeah, I see. I have no idea who those guys are.
The OG. So he's the pancake face guy that co-pilots the Falcon in Return of the Jedi.
Oh
yeah, in the red light.
Yeah.
Audi.
When you describe these characters, I know who they are, but by name I don't.
I love all the obscure characters in Star Wars just because they all have such crazy backstories, and I love that shit. But yeah, no, it's totally understandable. Like,
okay,
like Bib Fortuna has a whole fucking backstory, and the whole Jabba's palace, like every character in there is established, and yeah, I love that shit.
What's the give me a Salacious Crumb?
Yeah, oh my god,
anthology film.
See, like you don't have to do that. If you do an anthology series, you can do dumb stuff like that, and you could have the tone fluctuate. Have a really silly Salacious Crumb spin-off episode,
I like that.
And then also have your dirty grungy rebels in the dirt fighting the Empire story. So you can have the best of both worlds, but I also kind of want to see a through line that with characters that we get to know and love. So there's a lot of things they could do with it. But any final pitches, final thoughts on this Star Wars never endingness?
Final pitch, it's just a simple like look at how Doctor Who does their series or their seasons or whatever.
That's a really good idea.
There's like through lines that are for each season, and like there's stories that happen through multiple episodes, but then there's also like one-off stories, and like there's a lot of just like things happening that don't necessarily connect, but there's always something that's going on.
I love that idea. And because then you could have your crazy Tales from the Borderlands misadventures, but then also have this through line that concludes, and then they do a different thing. Like you can do a lot with that format. And then also cast wise, you can shift it a lot too.
Yeah.
This might be the way to do it. Disney, Jon Favreau, Kathleen Kennedy, I'm looking straight at you. Do that.
David Tennant.
Do it.
That would be fucking awesome. I just want to put that out there. He's getting a lot bigger, but like he's still kind of he's not a Robert Downey Jr.
No, yeah. Whenever I see him, I'm like, wow, he's in this and he's still doing stuff. I'm happy.
He's in that Jessica Jones. God, I would love to see David Tennant in Star Wars, just as as the roguish kind of character. Like that would be great.
Yeah, he could be a Han Solo type for sure.
Oh my gosh, I need this. Can we just? Oh my God, that's fantastic. I need that in my life. But they're not going to do it. It's going to be Scarlett Johansson.
we just need a Google Doc of like all the ideas we have.
Seriously,
like,
we can make so much money.
We could fill like a whole book with all the shit we come up with.
our half great, half shitty ideas.
Yeah.
Start our own Star Wars Legends books.
Oh my God.
Start writing.
It's like as we have this own novel. It's just David Tennant on the cover. It's like, all right, you just have to imagine this as David Tennant, and it works. It all makes sense.
That's the only reason it works.
Yeah, pretty much. He can make a lot of stuff work.
Yeah. Fucking Star Wars, am I right?
Fucking Star Wars. We're never gonna run away from it. Our kids are gonna die before it drops. All right. Yeah. So before we move on to I recommend, we got some rapid fire questions from the internet. To submit a question, write in at Gridlife Digest on Twitter or on a corresponding thread on a Facebook group that I forgot to post this week. So at Banter Lab, never heard of them. Never heard of them.
Never.
If you were to collab with who the fuck? It's raw. If you were to collab with Banter Lab, how badly would you lose at Overwatch and why? Well, let me tell you something, brother. Here in the United States of America, we have freedom. We have equality, not really.
But freedom.
And we're going to kick your ass at Overwatch. Okay, this is happening. You don't know the can of worms that you just opened, my friend. Sam, I'm looking right at you now. We're going to clip this out. You are going down. How many characters in Overwatch do you have? We have Soldier 76. We have McCree. Those are our two stereotypes. Cowboys and soldiers. That's basically all we are. And you have guys that look like they're from Mad Max. So
exactly.
You live in a barren wasteland. I'm surprised you actually have internet, for one. And we're going to take you down. Like, there's no contest here.
We'll take you down just because you probably have worse internet than we do.
Yeah, just like
get those kangaroos
the
on
latency
the treadmill
is going to be so terrible
energy.
Yeah.
That you can't help but just forfeit. Like, it's going to be terrible.
Like, you're playing on dial-up somehow. Like, they made that a thing over there.
You have a fucking koala with your fucking antenna sitting out there. It's like your whole like, I don't know. Australian stereotypes.
Yeah.
Insert whatever you like.
The bottom line, we can make way more fun of ourselves than we can Australians because there's so much to nitpick with us.
So I'm going to challenge you at Banter Lab. Make your own roast and tweet at us at Gridlife Digest. We'll see who has the better one because there's a lot of ammunition for you guys. That's all I'm saying.
You got a whole like list to pick from. We only have like kangaroos, fires, tarantulas,
and deserts. Yeah, and yeah. It's like you look like your country looks like Borderlands.
Yeah.
It
sounds cool, but
it's not. Everything wants to kill you.
Only 10% of your country is inhabitable. The rest is just desert.
Yeah. Sounds miserable.
Can't support anything. And I don't know. You guys have amazing accents.
That's an advantage. I'm not going to deny. They do have amazing accents.
Because we have a lack of an accent.
Hemsworth.
Yeah. Like we live in the one part of the country that doesn't have an accent.
Yeah.
The rest of the country does. Like you got
totally indistinguishable.
You got your New Yorkers. You got your New Jersey accent. You got your Texan accent. You got your Southern accent. You got your Midwestern accent. I mean, we have Emma for that, but like the rest of us, we don't have accents.
Yeah,
we're just boring Americans.
We say hella.
Yeah. See, we come up with weird, funny things to say.
See, Idaho, we don't have anything. We have no culture whatsoever. Besides the gold rush and potato farming.
Potatoes.
Yeah, that's all we have. No factors.
Is it the potato state or what is it?
I mean, that's kind of our thing, even though California is a larger exporter than us. So
hey, you guys, you make good potatoes. What can I say?
That's
if it doesn't say Idaho on the bag, I'm not buying.
Not buying it. That's good. It's good mantra.
You got quality potatoes, quality over quantity. That's your shit.
Yeah.
Quality potatoes.
I feel a lot better about my state now. Thank you.
Yeah. Even though like potatoes are used to like describe like ugly women and potato computers.
Never heard that. Computers,
Never,
yes.
Yeah, never heard of that one, unfortunately.
You've seen those jokes where like girls are like, "Oh, I look like a potato right now."
Okay, yeah, I guess.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
They say a lot of colorful things about themselves.
They do.
So that was actually the only question. We're gonna kick your asses though. Just
Yeah.
a forewarning.
Yeah, we're
Hands down.
gonna kick your ass. We're recruiting.
I'm gonna kick your ass.
We're practicing.
Yep.
Uh,
Got a strict regiment.
We're gonna get those strats. Why is my camera gone to tungsten again? It did this during the Nintendo Direct.
Tungsten.
There it goes.
Huh. But anyways, I think I'm gonna wear my T-Rex onesie on stream.
Nice. Are we streaming it? I don't know. We're streaming it.
Well, I don't know. Whatever we're doing.
yeah, one of us should
gonna wear it.
stream
Probably
from like each channel. I
each
guess.
channel. Yeah, that's a good point. Not me though.
I think I'll be able to stream.
All right, either me or Micah for sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, technicalities. Yeah, we'll figure it out. That's happening soon.
Back to the shit talk.
Yeah, back to the shit talk. Fuck you, Australia.
Australia.
You have scary spiders.
Dude, everything about there is scary. I don't know how they actually survive. Yeah, like I said, that was the only question. So we can move on to I recommend, where one of us recommends to the group something for the others to check out. It can be anything. Last time, Matus recommended to us Dirty Money on Netflix. Were you guys able to check out any of this wonderful direct documentary series?
Damn it! You should have told me this last night when I was watching documentaries.
See, here's the thing. If you listen to your own show, you'd know that the I recommend for this week was Dirty Money.
That's true.
That's all I'm saying.
If I did.
Yeah.
I've actually seen a little bit with my girlfriend. She has it. She watches it.
Yeah.
It's a documentary. Everything's fucked.
Everything's fucked.
That's all I gotta say.
Corruption is rampant. And I watched the maple syrup heist one just for the sheer ridiculousness of the premise.
Yes.
And I had no idea this thing happened, and it was crazy, and I really liked the filmmaking, and I really enjoyed it, and I don't have anything too specific to say about it besides just go watch it, because it's insane. Canada's nuts. I didn't realize just how nuts they were. Like they made a comment of like, you'd think we were moving, millions of dollars of cocaine, where in actuality it's maple syrup, and just the whole thing is ridiculous. There's a lot of really cool topics and very obscure topics that they cover on the various episodes. But yeah, it was a very good recommendation, good watch. I definitely enjoyed it. So in that case, were one of you going to do it, or Eli, do you want to take us home?
Sure. So I think Mike and I agree you all should listen to Kids Trap. There's two albums.
Two albums, okay.
Yeah. Since we all know Kids Bop is the Gridlife Digest favorite band.
Of course.
So this is Kids Trap. It's trap music made by Nether Friends and
Blake Rules.
Blake Rules.
Yep.
Just great stuff. Like so wholesome. I'm definitely gonna show this to my children.
Very much.
You get your VHSs, you get your Kids Trap.
Yeah.
You could bump this like at a kindergartner's party, and it would be okay.
No, bump it in your car. Like it goes. It really goes.
It really does. Like anyone can appreciate this.
Mm-hmm.
Like my mom would have been totally okay for like 8-year-old Micah to listen to this. Especially the "I Love My Mom" one. Like she'd be totally down with that. Like it just works for all situations, and it's stuff you can relate to. Like it'll talk. There's one that "I Love My Grandma." Like it talks about how she makes cookies and you get great hugs from her, and then you get to sleep. You get to sleep in when you stay over at her house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's hitting all the notes, all the check boxes.
Well, if Mama Binfet likes it, then
yes.
Gotta check it out. Or if she would approve, rather, gotta check it out.
Yeah, my mom hasn't listened to it yet, but I'll send her the link.
Yeah,
if she knows how to click on links. And
how does this work? Is there a gun involved in here somewhere? I want to take away your PS3.
Yeah.
Are you vaping? Did I just see you vape?
Nothing should be going on those lungs except for air. Even though our air's already fucked.
Yeah, our air is just as fucked. Why is my light going crazy? Anyway, so do you want to recommend both albums?
Yeah, both albums.
So just bump it.
The songs are pretty short.
They're like 2 minutes a piece.
Okay, so just like bump it in your car on your way to work. Just get through them both. It's probably not that hard.
No, it's not.
All right, excellent.
You'll have a good time though.
You will. It's so the messages in all the songs are so relatable, and it just makes you want to be a better person.
Like The Floor is Lava. Like everyone played that game as a kid. You know, you set out your pillows and jump on them. You know, if you landed on the floor, you're burning alive. And
it's really fucked up when you think about it.
It is. Oh like that's God. Fucking morbid.
My flesh. Yeah,
I've got the higher. I
have the high ground. Yeah,
I'm melting.
You were my brother, Anakin.
Yep.
Anyway, we'll go check out Kids Trap, but not Revenge of the Sith. And this has been episode 27 of Gridlife Digest Weekly. Thank you so much for listening. You can head over to gridlifedigest.com to see all the content in one place. Consider subscribing on YouTube and the podcast service of your choice so you never miss what's happening. We'll be back next Wednesday with another conversation. Thank you very much, gentlemen. I have a feeling that this has honestly felt like one of my favorite episodes so far.
This was fun.
This was great.
Yeah. And
we're getting good at this.
At an hour and a half, the length that we were shooting for. So we're making waves. And fuck you, Australia.
Fuck you.
Fuck Australia. New Zealand for life.
Give us a vape nation. Give us a vape nation.
That vape nation. That VN. Don't vape, kids.
All right, bye.